Hello everyone, my name's Hooten, and today we're going to be talking about GameFi and also NFTs, sort of the reason why people don't like NFTs. I'm having a discussion with Nade, who is a game developer and also GenX's editor. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, well, I'm with my friend Nade today, and we're going to be talking about sort of the topic of NFTs and why gamers don't like NFTs. Maybe they don't like NFTs being implemented into games. They're a bit afraid about big companies, established companies already established in gaming, going into the topic of NFTs as well. And Nade, do you want to give yourself an introduction?
Yeah, so I mean, most importantly, I guess I'm the editor for GenX. That comes first, and then secondary to that, I am also newly a game developer as well, working on a third-person shooter for PC.
Nice. Yeah, so with sort of the whole topic of NFTs, there was one thing that we both ended up watching, and it was a 2-hour long video that this guy made on YouTube. I will link the video down in the description so you guys can see for yourself. It talks about sort of the problem with NFTs, and also talks about sort of why people don't like it. And I think for me, I was always on the side of NFTs for pretty much anything. When it came to gaming, I was always open-minded with it because I liked the fact that it could be play to earn. But I did have concerns sort of in the background, but I sort of just pushed them away. And after watching that video, it sort of opened my mind a little bit more. So I suppose we can start with just talking about, some of the things that he mentioned in the video, just to sort of get both of our opinions on that very thing. One of the main things that he mentioned was the amount of NFT projects that are out there. We'll just go on to the topic of NFTs first. The amount of NFT projects out there that don't really do anything. Like, there's no real use for it. And I think something like that, you definitely see it more and more now, especially on certain ecosystems. When Ethereum started bringing out all the NFT projects, you started to see more and more saturation of projects that were just pointless, or they were copycats of another project that had done well in the past. And then when people moved over to Solana, I'm seeing the same thing on Solana now. And I suppose for new people getting into the space, it's not really something that you want to see because you don't know where to look, I suppose. I think that's one of the bad things about NFTs. Have you had personal experience with jumping into any NFT projects?
I haven't jumped into any myself, besides a couple free ones. I haven't, I haven't spent any money so far. And a lot of it simply is because, as you said, some of them seem to have no application to them. There's no real purpose behind them. So a lot of these can end up being just artistic ones, which originally were cool. Artists could make an NFT, resell their work, and they would obviously make commission on the future sales of that, and that's kind of where it all started from. But as those don't really have any tangible value, don't really give you anything other than a digital piece of artwork. There's a mix of is this useful to me? Is it not? Does it give me anything? Is it going to decrease in value by 50 times in a few months and I waste a bunch of money? I think the way that NFTs can be used in the future, and should be, and hopefully it goes this way, is each one gives you some form of tangible asset that you get physically in a few months' time after you've owned it, or something digitally which acts as some kind of key, VIP pass, access to something that you wouldn't normally have. And this is basically, with gaming, what people are already doing, right? When you buy a pre-order for a game, which now a lot of days a pre-order for a game actually costs you money. Before, you just walked into a game store and said, "Can I pre-order Call of Duty, please?" And they'd do it. But now it's like you have to say, "Can I pre-order Call of Duty?" "Yeah, sure." That'll cost you a deposit of £5 or dollars or whatever. So gamers are used to the idea of prepaying for something to get access to it later on. So I think that is a good way of doing NFTs. You would do, you buy VIP pass to the next Battle Royale game or shooter that comes out, and your NFT would give you access to that when it releases. Or early access, or beta
maybe
access, stuff like that.
You could do if you're still holding the pass after the game's come out, like some future airdrops of skins of weapons or characters or something like that. Yeah, I think that's a good way to sort of use an NFT rather than having it for the resaleable value of things, which every project seems to do at the moment. Having something where you're not necessarily buying it for a flip, you are just buying it for the product that it will come with. I think that's something we'll hopefully see more use of, because yeah, like I said, one of the large issues with it is you're buying something and so many people are buying the same project and they're all there just to make an extra little bit of money, and a lot of the time a good 99% of the projects that do come out, they don't have the end goal that everyone has in mind, which is, to make money. They want to do well and they want to build a community, and a lot of the time the community is not there for that sort of thing.
So yeah, just something to add to that. I think there is a bit of a psychological thing to it as well. So obviously with the big boom of NFTs, and you see like memes and things reselling for like $300,000 and things like that, and people becoming rich from the initial boom of NFTs. What it created was kind of a path for, we'll say, regular people to think they can make a lot of money. And I think in today's society, a lot of people are scared of not making enough money, and they see this as like a get-rich-quick thing when it first came out. So that's why a lot of people sort of dove in. They thought, I can just buy something now for $50, and then in 3 weeks' time, I can resell it at 10x, which is not the case with a lot of these projects. So
yeah, I think that sort of plays into another point, which was the fact that it's not very friendly for sort of regular people getting into the first NFT. For example, a lot of these NFT projects, you need to join the Discord, which is sort of the main hub where people hang out, and over time you'll start getting DMs from other people saying, this is a new project coming out, it's minting this day, if you join now then you might get early access to it, and you start getting I must have received hundreds of DMs now, all to do with promoting new projects. Some of them might be legit, and a lot of the time they're going to be scams, and I think for a lot of people that will just catch them off guard, because they'll join this Discord thinking, it's another project, maybe I can win on this one. It turns out to be a scam, but it's not just as much as them taking the mint money. They'll actually take control of the entire wallet, and they could lose a lot more than what they bargained for. I don't know of a way to really fix that at this stage, other than either being burnt by it once and learning from it, or having some prior knowledge before actually minting some of these projects.
Yeah, I think scams in general, scams and failed projects have kind of formed this negative connotation around the phrase NFT. Especially a really good example is NFTs in hip hop. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but rappers like Snoop Dogg and whoever else come out with these NFTs, and it is literally just a bit of artwork that then decreases in value loads in the future. And not to call anyone out, but a lot of them are seen as scams, and that's why the general public has a bad perception of NFTs, is because all they see is people essentially wasting money because they spend X amount and then they end up having to resell at a loss in the future.
It's the same for even some high profile gamers as well, creating either tokens or NFT projects and them eventually amounting to nothing. And it does put a bad connotation on it, and I think gaming and crypto is pretty close, it's pretty tight knit, just the nature of it, because it is all online. And what worries me is that gamers will see one bad thing, whether it's a scam from a creator that they follow, or they get burnt themselves, and they just never want to try it again, even if the ecosystem might have improved the next year. They still don't want to get into that sort of thing, and I think that's why there's so much hate when it comes to gaming companies that want to incorporate NFTs into it. A lot of the gamers just want to completely stay clear of that sort of thing.
Yeah, a lot of gamers want to stay. We'll call it mainstream, I guess, right? They want to stay with something that's familiar to them. They don't really want to dive into the NFT space or the crypto space as well. And I think even a lot of it could have come from, so when NFT started, I assume a lot of creators got offers for endorsements for NFTs as well, like big streamers, promote this, we'll give you some cash as like a sponsorship deal. If as a result of that, that creator is then involved in an NFT project that turns out to be a scam or fails, that negatively impacts all their audience as well. And as we know, creators and streamers today have a very big influence on their audience. So that's just going to add to the kind of negative connotation around the phrase NFTs, because their entire audience will have seen that happen, and therefore it's ingrained into their brain that, okay, no, NFTs, panic as soon as you hear that phrase.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So you mentioned at the start that you were a game developer as well. And one of the things I wanted to sort of dive into was you've thought about the possibility of implementing NFTs or crypto into your own game before. What would you say is stopping you from implementing NFTs into your game, as of right now?
Yeah. The biggest thing obviously is just the huge amount of backlash that we've seen other projects receive. I think off the top of my head, Ubisoft might have tried one recently. They backtracked on that a few weeks later. And then the Worms series by Team 17, they were trying to create a Worms NFT based project. And I think it was no less than, a week later after announcing it, they backtracked. And that tweet that they put out saying, okay, we're backtracking, we've listened to the fans, we don't want to get involved with this. That was their most popular tweet they've ever made in like 10 years.
Wow.
So that as well massively reinforces this. Okay, the gaming industry as a whole isn't quite ready to make this move yet, or accept, what could possibly be the future of the gaming space.
Do you think that some companies in the gaming space are waiting for someone else to do it first and do it right before the rest of them sort of jump in? They don't really want to take that first step because of all the backlash they could get if a project doesn't do well. Yeah,
I think that's exactly what it is. People are backtracking because they don't want to be the first ones. They don't want to take the risk, and they're waiting for somebody else to hopefully, carve the path and pave the way to doing it, so then they can just slide in a bit of a later date and not receive too much backlash. What you really need is someone to be like the poster boy for this kind of thing, and for that initial project to become successful, and then it's a lot easier for people in the future.
Yeah. Do you see sort of the benefits of, I suppose we'll say, the benefits of adding NFTs into your own game? Do you see like the benefits that could occur from implementing them?
Yeah, I think the whole idea around NFTs and having some kind of, tradable and sellable skins asset of some kind in your game is a great idea. And it's essentially the same as like the Steam marketplace, right? But when you buy and sell CSGO skins on the Steam marketplace, for example, you're limited to keeping your money in your Steam wallet. Whereas with NFTs and crypto, you can sell an item in game and then actually turn that into US dollar, Great British pounds, whatever your currency is, and use it outside of that platform.
Yeah.
So that's where it becomes really cool, because people, as you've seen with some projects, are actually starting to make a living from using NFTs in the gaming world. So I think that it's a really cool idea. It just hasn't been accepted and maybe not used to its full potential so far.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is trying to find a way of doing it without either hurting players that just want to play for free, because obviously you don't want any overpowered items or anything being able to just be bought. But at the same time, the overpowered items could be really expensive. So if you do get them, it's almost like a lottery for a free player. It's trying to find sort of the balance between free to play players still having fun and not feeling like they're being left behind. And I suppose the other side is making sure that it's not just a money grabbing opportunity. Yeah,
I think the best game to look at that currently exists for this is actually Fortnite. As much as a lot of people might not like Fortnite, but I mean a lot of people do as well. Fortnite is a great example of a game that is actually very close to something to do with NFTs. So like, Fortnite has skins, obviously. They have character skins, they have maybe weapon skins now. I don't know, I haven't played in a while, but at least, they have some form of cosmetic item that you can spend your money on. And there's really no difference between spending $20 on a V-Bucks card, which is a digital currency, to then go and buy a Fortnite skin, there's no difference to spending $20 of your real money to go and buy a cryptocurrency that then buys you a cosmetic in another game. If all the things you buy are purely cosmetic and just for appearance and have no effect on the outcome of every single match you play, have no outcome on your level as a player, don't create an uneven playing field, that's where it can be used. But it is when you start to kind of become a pay-to-win project that errors and issues start occurring and people get a bit scared of, diving into it, because ultimately people don't like that, as we've learned. Paying to win leaves the richest in the game and the free-to-play people slowly dwindle out and go and, play elsewhere.
Yeah, find something else. Yeah.
This is the problem, right? Is that a lot of people start playing these games with the purpose of making money, not for entertainment. When you say to people, here, play this, you can make money, people treat it as a job and they don't play for entertainment.
That's a very good point. Yeah. That's definitely something that I thought I wouldn't really be too bothered about. If I'm playing and earning money, then that's perfect. But then, like you say, it starts to become a chore. Like, oh, I'm playing for the purpose of earning $10, $20 from doing this thing. And then over time, you hate doing it and you start resenting the very thing that you used to enjoy. Just because, just because money's involved.
Yeah. I think overall, NFTs need to be, we'll say, slowly drip-fed into games. Right now, a lot of projects that include them, the NFT is the main purpose for getting involved. The NFT is like that's the first thing you see. It's like the game is surrounded around NFTs, and I think what they need to start doing is drip feed them in as gun skins, character skins, or some kind of key to open a crate that has all these cosmetic items or something. And they just drip that into already existing franchises. Like,
just to test it out,
Yeah, like if Call of Duty or Battlefield, Halo, whoever it was, these big names decided, okay, this weapon skin we're releasing in 3 months' time is going to be in the form of an NFT. I think that's the way you start doing it. You drip feed them in over the course of a few months and don't base your entire game around that, because then when you base your entire game around that, that is the main purpose. That is the main purpose. People will play it.
Yeah.
But if you add them to existing games where people are already playing for the entertainment value alone, it will become more accepted, because it'll just slowly phase its way in.
Yeah. I think that's a mistake that. Yeah, I think that's you've nailed it. Like, that's the mistake a lot of companies are making now. I think is we're going to make an entire game that's based off NFTs, and then instantly every game is like, nah. I think we'll stick to what what I've been playing before. And again, it's there's the negative connotation around that word. So is there any sort of either company or content creator that you've seen getting into the NFT space that you feel like could do it right?
Yeah, so yesterday, Dr. Disrespect and his studio, they're making a game called Midnight Society, which I think is going to be a Battle Royale style game. He's very much into Battle Royale genre. And he yesterday announced that his game will have an NFT in order to get you like early access or alpha build access to help test the game, improve it, suggest things, and then get a few exclusive cosmetic items for your character at release as well. And they actually got a pretty good reception. I'd say that they have put themselves as kind of the face of NFT games, what they could be. They probably look the best visually as well. A lot of NFT games currently, your 2D card games, 2D side scrollers, these like Pokemon style games, and they look a bit outdated. Whereas this one, it's been made by one, arguably probably a top 25 streamer in the entertainment space. And also he hired a ton of developers from companies such as 343 Industries, Activision, DICE, big names to kind of go into this NFT space out of the mainstream. And their reception when they did the announcement was actually pretty good. They had 50,000 website signups in less than 6 hours, which
Wow.
is pretty big numbers.
Yeah.
And a few professional esports players were accepting it. They were saying, tweets such as, whenever people hear the word NFT, they panic. Why don't we just actually look into this? If one of the biggest creators in our space is starting to do this, maybe we should become more accepting of it. And that is what you need. As I said before, I think you do need someone to pave the way, someone to be the poster boy. And when you take someone as big as Dr. Disrespect and developers that have created, past big franchises, maybe they can be the people to do this. So they said that their game will have NFT items, which will be tradable, sellable, and hopefully they aim to make it the basis for the future of the game's economy. That is the goal behind it. And although it does see a little bit of backlash, I think a lot of people are now genuinely curious how it will turn out because such a big name is doing this.
Yeah. Well, I pray it does turn out well. Just sort of to change the whole sentiment around, this topic, and hopefully, if it is successful, then more content creators and more companies will actually start coming forward and saying, actually, we will give this a real go and just see what happens. That's the main thing. It is, at the end of the day, it is a really new technology. It's just, it's something that's just going to take a little bit of time, I think, to get right. But once it is right, then I'm sure we'll see more and more people coming forward and embracing it.
Yeah, I think you're the best chance of people making NFTs successful in the gaming space are the already existing franchises and developers that have a name to them, because they actually have a lot to lose. Whereas when you take someone who is new, such as an indie company who raises, loads of money and funds and tries to make this huge project, they essentially have nothing to lose. They have no, there's no bar set by them by previous games they've released. But if you take a game that has existed for the past 15 years, they have a lot to lose if they're not successful with it. So they're probably the people that you can bank on doing it right. And hopefully as more people like that get involved, it will actually become the norm.
Yeah, I hope so. All right, well, that's perfect. We'll leave that and sort of round that off there. Thank you for spending some time with me today and just discussing the topic. And hopefully we can see some improvements in the future.
All right.
All right, bye.
All right.